going on, ESGN Nation, and welcome back to another episode here of the Dawg Pound TV, episode number 3, as we're taking a quick look here at what the season here in Season 1 so far looks like for the first 7 weeks, and so far, cannot complain. It's been a very good 7 weeks, and honestly, as the user of this Cleveland Browns here, I'm actually feeling really good with this team. Everything's running smoothly. The guys are, we've kind of had our hiccups there, but the defense for the most part has been a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to build on to that as we go into Season 2. Offense, I'm not really worried about until next season, or until they really just completely just implode. But we are going to talk about one trade, which I mentioned in a couple of last 2 episodes here, and that is the trade of Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney is not playing like the Jadeveon Clowney when he was coming into the league, especially when he was playing in there in Houston and stuff like that. So we do have a trade offer that there was actually 2 trade offers, but I was looking at one of them really particular because they're not a very good team, I don't think, and that team is Atlanta. So we'll see that trade here in a bit. I could have went with the Washington football team trade, but I feel like Atlanta was a more they got a tough division to play in. I don't really, because the NFC East is, it is what it is. So, and I think they'll probably be a 500 ball club. As for Atlanta, not too good right now. They're 2-4 right now. Going to, they're coming off their bye week and going into week 8. So yeah, I think that trade makes more sense. I don't want to trade Clowney I don't want to see him in the AFC because that's a good chance we'll see him next season. I mean, there's even a good chance we'll see him next season if we play against Atlanta. But I think it just makes more sense of trade him outside of the AFC and trade him as far as so a team that we don't see too often. So I think Atlanta makes a pretty good choice there for us. We'll get into more of that here, but take a look here. You just look at the standings right now. Baker Mayfield getting close to 2,000 yards this season, 19 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and that's one thing I'm kind of concerned about. That's what I'm trying to avoid. And so we got to get those touchdowns. We got to get those touchdowns going for us, and of course, get away from throwing the ball to opposing teams there. So we got to try to work on that. Now, in the last episode, I kind of mentioned towards the end there, I had some trouble there with Nick Chubb. I don't understand why they took him out of the game because he wasn't hurt. He was not hurt at all. So I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if it was an issue of his stamina. His numbers wasn't up towards that. But I did refigure I went back to the default settings for the substitution side of stats because I wanted some realism. I want to see guys come in. I want to see those second string guys come in, have to play a couple of plays or two, both on the both sides of the ball. So I was trying to do that with him. At the same time, I also have him out of some certain formations too, just like I do with all some other wide receivers, other skill positions also on the defense side too. Just kind of keep things fresh, keep things going. So we don't, the guys can, especially the lower overall guys can get a chance to get a couple, come in a couple plays randomly and just try to see if they can make a play on the field there. So, and just try to get them that experience there, get that XP experience and just get them on the field. So I've resetted that here. I'm kind of using from the last couple of years here, but I think I need to reset it again. I don't know if Madden did that because I know I just recently got an update from them. So I don't know what the deal is, but I changed it, and I was kind of messing around with the Steelers game, kind of tested some stuff out, and it so far it looked like it worked. So it's helped out. It's back to where it should be. But for the most part, like I said, it's been a great year so far. Billings, Jackson, and of course Garrett been doing great there. Just take a look at their numbers there for sacks, tackles for loss. And like I said, Jadeveon Clowney, 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, but 2 sacks in the game. Not where I thought he would be at this point here, and I think he's going to be asking for quite a bit of money, even if he doesn't, play so well. So I think we might end up having to go ahead and let him go. And I think we're going to let the next guy step up, take over that spot there on the opposite end, I think on the left side there, and take over that left end position, and then we'll work on the rest of the. We'll either draft a guy or maybe pick up a guy during the off season to help out with the help out in that area. So that's an area of development that we're going to try to do within either within the organization, drafting a player, or picking somebody up off of free agency like that, because we got a lot of guys that we have free agents here. And I didn't get into this video, but I think in the next video I may show you guys some of those players that we've picked up. I usually don't re-sign guys until after the end of the season, because I want to see if their overalls go up. If they start obviously if they overalls and their numbers start going up when it comes to skills position, different attributes start going up, or they start decreasing. So I want to kind of see where they're at some point here, and then maybe once we get to like maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, then we can start re-signing some guys there to help us out. But for right now, I'm not going to re-sign anybody unless it makes complete sense, like, okay, we have to re-sign them. But we don't have too many big names to re-sign, and that's good. The only big name really was Dawg Pound, but like I said, we are going to go ahead and trade him and look for a different defensive end that we can probably get pretty cheap, either in free agency, or we'll just go ahead and just draft one. Because like I said, we're focusing on more of the defensive side when it comes to the draft this season than we are on the left side. Even though we got quite a few highly scouted players that are offensive players, I would love to have on this team, but chances are we probably won't get them. But there's a few defensive guys I think we might end up getting, because there are some of those defensive players that have kind of dropped some when it comes to the mock draft, and we'll show the mock draft actually here in just a bit. But right here you see some of the guys getting some upgrades here. This is actually upgrades before or after we finished the game with the Broncos there, and you got a couple of different guys getting some upgrades here, and kind of like David Njoku, he got a big time upgrade there. Nick Harris, our center, I think he's our backup there. He's got a nice upgrade here for himself there too. So got some nice upgrades here for a lot of different players. And even I just realized too, when I was doing this, I didn't show this, but I went back in there and looked at some of our practice squad, and they got some nice upgrades there. I forgot about upgrading those guys, so we had to upgrade some of those players. And I think I might end up calling that we do have a defensive end that we could call up to help out, and so we can, because really true, I think that left end is going to be a position where we can swap guys in and out, and that's what I'm kind of looking at right now, and kind of to see which guy does better on that side, and then whoever does better throughout the course of the season, then once we get into the playoffs, which obviously right now we're in a pretty good position right now for the playoffs, they can take over that position there, and of course then I can start putting them in different formations to kind of the starter can play a lot more for more time, as opposed to the backup. He can come in and just kind of rotate, be a part of that rotation, and just rotating guys off that line and stuff. So but take a look here on the far right hand side where it says top performers. Those are all your top performers right there. Pause the video, check those out if you guys want to see those. I don't want to get into what's going on right now with everybody else in the league right now, because it's only the first 8 weeks. We don't have any there's a few breakouts out there, but not too many of them that are some of the usual suspects when it comes to stuff. But as you take a look here, Billings is going to come back. He was out for the game there and the last game there, and so we went ahead and he's going to come back. He's healthy now. Now for the Dawg Pound trade here, like I said, there was different offers there. There's a really good offer with Washington there, because they're right now in that top. I think they're in the top 10 right there. But like I said, all the others I didn't really care for. Green Bay, obviously, they're playing really well right now, so their draft pick wouldn't really be good for us, as they're playing really good football right now. Jets, like I said, I'm trying to avoid any AFC teams out there. You're not getting them. I'm looking at NFC teams, and of course Atlanta. I think that'd be a good fit for them. They need some help defensively. I think that he would be a lightning rod for them. So I went ahead and made the deal. And there you see, obviously, we went ahead and went through it. And so now we got a trade. So we got those this year's draft picks coming up in the spring. The 2022 third round draft pick and the, of course, 6th round draft pick. And, of course, those draft picks, if they start really doing bad, which I'm hoping that'll be the case, those draft picks, will be more valuable. So I'm only, hands crossed here, or fingers crossed, I should say, they'll do poorly again. So you see, there's the first look at the mock draft. Of course, number 1 pick was Wendell Cason, one of our guys from Ohio Scotty series. Of course, Alex Flanagan, Blanco. Who else? There's a couple others here in the top 32 in the first round there. Marquette, and several others there that. And a lot of these other names too, you guys will probably know if you've watched the first 2 seasons of the Ohio Scotty series. There are other players from other schools there that we added into there. And of course, that's how it's going to be now on with we're going to have custom draft class throughout this remainder of this series. And of course, in the near future, any other Madden series that we have. But Larry Cole, he's jumped up now. He is the number 1 guy. Looks like Pittsburgh could get him, as they look like the favorite right now to get the number 1 overall pick. Cason going to the Raiders. That'll be interesting there. And then, of course, take a look at Alex Flanagan possibly going to the Texans if the season ended today and they were drafting. Kenny Curtis, another one of those players that we had. I believe he's a right guard there. And, of course, some others there you see moving around. Grady Little going to Denver. I can actually see him being out there. That's a pretty good pick there for if Denver gets that chance to get him. That'd be a good pickup for them. They got that even increase their wide receiver out there. And of course, have to tell you, all you do now is just get a decent quarterback, and they'd be set. But then of course, Donovan Marquardt. I would love to have him as a linebacker because we are looking for some linebackers for next season. In that sense of things right here. And of course, looking down the list here, you see Robinson, who is another player of ours, a defensive tackle. I would love to have him because I would love to move him from the interior to the exterior because that's what we did in the Heinz Scotty series. And I think he can make that transition here in the Madden game. Also to Tolbert, one of the free safeties out there. That's who they say we're going to pick, which would be awesome because that'd be somebody we can kind of build around for the next couple of years. The first that first 4 or 5 years of his rookie contract, he would be just amazing in that position. So, but now we're taking a look at our national scouts here, and this is the point when you're in week 8, you get to kind of focus in on your national scout to kind of focus in on one particular position. So we had CBs, and that's what we're going to look at there. And of course, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think at some point there you can change his focus, where you can have him focus on now, like if he's good at defensive ends, we can have him focus on just defensive ends nationally. So we'll kind of play around with that, see what we can do, and just kind of change things up from week to week and try to see if we can pull in some new information about some of these players here. Of course, our talent tree here, I haven't really messed with this too much because I kind of want to keep it realistic. I'm thinking about, saving up points every 2 or 3, up to 2, maybe up to 4 weeks, and then every 4 weeks add a new thing to it. So it gives me a challenge, and not constantly just like every week upgrading stuff as we go along. So we'll try to do it every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks in this series, and then we just get new upgrades to a lot of stuff until we get to where we have what we need right now. Of course, a lot of these are just you pick a path and you just stick with it. You go all the way down to the very end, down there at the bottom. And of course, you can take a look at some of the stuff there. I picked for our defensive coordinator, our offensive coordinator, of course, our head coach. I don't think I picked anything in personnel, did I? About to see here. I can't remember. This has been a while since I've seen some of this footage here. But yeah, we got a chance to get a hometown discount. So we get a discount on, what is it, 5% on players that, you know, obviously are guys there. So we get a better chance at going after them when it comes to that. And I think that's here in the next couple of weeks. I think if you remember how you get these points, these stat points, is you have to complete the objectives or the goals you have the week, every single week. And remember, we don't touch those goals now. We're just letting the computer randomly just pick them, and then we just try to do our best to, you know, try to achieve those goals and whatnot. And so far it's worked out for us, even though some of them kind of a little sketchy. If they don't make sense for the game plan that we have set up, especially for the team that we're going against, it's like, okay, we can at least change one. So far it's worked out for us, and I kind of like it like that. Kind of really does a good job of handcuffing me, not letting me do the things I know I can do in the game, as opposed to the things I want to avoid. You know, like, oh, I can't do that, or there's no way I can do that. So kind of handcuffs me, like, okay, you know, kind of focus. Okay, you know, I know I can do these other 3 or 4, but that 5th one maybe not. So maybe I need to focus on that one. You know, the other 4 I can do, but the other one, that 5th one, I can't really do. So I try to focus on that one per se. A little bit of a good challenge there for me. So, but that's it for this episode of the Dawg Pound TV. Like I said, we'll have some more going on as we get along here. We'll have another video like this coming up. We'll look at around the league, see what's going on with around the league and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the next mock draft will come out. We'll show you guys that. We'll show you the changes, and we'll probably dive in more of that here coming up in that video there. But that's it for this episode of Dawg Pound TV. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more as we get ready for this big game coming up against Pittsburgh. They are 1-5, and we're 7-0, and it's going to be a really nice game here as we take on TJ Watt and that defense there. Not a good defense this year, but they are still, if you look at their overall, or look at their numbers there, they are pretty decent there. So, especially the offense there too. So we'll have to see what we can do, and that'll be coming up here very soon here on the channel. As always, keep yourselves each other healthy. Stay tuned for more. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. If you're new to the channel, please hit that sub button, and also don't forget to hit that bell so you guys can be notified of this series or any other series here on the channel. And also check us out on our second channel on ESGNet LP, as we got some stuff over there also too. You guys can definitely go check out and support the channel that way also there too. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, keep yourselves each other healthy, and I'll see you guys next time.